Hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at a new band for the channel, R.E.M. This is a band that came into prominence at around the same time Michael Jackson's Thriller came into prominence. This album ended up being Rolling Stone's best album of 1983. And it did in fact beat out Thriller, beat out The Police's Synchronicity, and also U2's War. This particular album, while it didn't sell that much at the time, became a really important, influential record. And then they had a second album come out. This one was also an amazing record, and this one has a song on it called South Central Rain. So we're going to be looking at Radio Free Europe from Murmur and South Central Rain from Reckoning. These performances take place on the David Letterman Show. This is a fairly recent upload by the Letterman crew. Well, it's actually about a year old. And it's from October 6, 1983.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I mentioned earlier the Los Angeles Times just named this album one of the 5 best released so far in 1983. It's called Murmur. It's by a group of gentlemen from Athens, Georgia, called R.E.M., and we're happy to have them making their national television debut with us tonight. Please welcome R.E.M.
Disappointments leading you to serve. Straight off the bar. Where'd you go? Calling out on the tramp, calling out on the tramp. Radio.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Terrific. Nice job. Thank you, folks. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Very nice. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, those guys are so young. Apparently they met in college, and that's where the band began, and they were doing gigs from there. And it's pretty clear from this performance that they're probably still in college or pretty close to it. Wow, really amazing to see them so young. A couple things I want to note. Both bass and guitar have Rickenbackers, so almost a matching setup there. And they sound great. I love the twang coming off the guitar. I love the way the guitar player, he uses notes for the most part to drive the songs as opposed to straight up power chords or anything like that. He usually has some kind of a pattern that he's playing on the guitar. And the bassist is pretty adventurous too, especially during that chorus. You probably heard him doing things you don't often hear a bass player do. You know, boom, 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 boo, 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 boo. You know, all that. So this was really influential stuff when it first showed up on the scene. One of the running gags was that you could never understand what Michael Stipe was singing. And you can look up the words to these songs, and they make sense, but it's clear that he was trying to take advantage of the idea that maybe people couldn't really understand what he was saying. Because some of the phrases are kind of funny to look at. They're kind of impressionist, and maybe you have to imagine a little bit. And I think that was a point of insecurity, possibly for Mr. Stipe at the time. But I think they're great songs. I think his words worked great. There's still a topic behind the words, and it does shine through. Really cool what they were doing at the time, and people were excited to hear it. And they only grew in stature, as we know. They became a massive band later on. But at this time, they were still relatively unknown. So let's continue here. There should be one more song, and maybe Dave is going to talk them up a little bit. Let's take a look.
Thank you, folks. Welcome back. This is R.E.M. Peter Buck. Nice job, Peter. Nice meeting you, sir.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sorry, your name again, sir? Mike, nice to see you, sir. R.E.M., is it rapid eye movement, or is it other things also?
It could be anything you want it to. We found it in the dictionary, and it was short and concise and didn't particularly mean anything to us, so,
Good enough. You're from Athens, Georgia? Now, it's true that there are new bands coming out of Athens, Georgia, right?
Quite a few, yeah.
Now, why would that be? Why all of a sudden Athens, Georgia? Not that it isn't a fine community, or is it? Is it a fine community?
It's a fine college town.
Fine college town. Well, is there an explanation behind that?
Oh, yeah, there's a lack of anything else to do there. Yeah.
No, there's not. Who else is from there?
Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker, yeah. We have
From our
his
famous
album.
band.
We'll be listening to that a little later. But the B-52s?
Pylon,
Pylon?
Love Tractor.
They're
Method Actors.
kids.
Yeah. But is there a reason for that, or just...
No, it's a college town. A lot of kids just trying to waste time creatively, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take your word for it. And this album, The Murmur, it's very inexpensive compared to other albums, isn't it?
Right. They
Nope.
made it cheaper so we went the price.
Is it working? Are people buying it?
Yeah, it's working fine.
What's the price of it?
$6.98.
And what is
Well,
it?
that's list. It should be cheaper if you can find
Yeah. And what is the price of other albums?
it. $8.98.
So this is good. Well, that's a good idea. Why didn't they make them all cheaper? Yeah, no. Money talks, folks. Now the song you're going to do now is I understand is a brand new song. You want to explain the name of it or anything about it?
It doesn't have one. It's too new.
Too new to be named. All right. Are you gentlemen ready?
I guess so.
Okay. And if I
True
don't get a chance to see you
artistes.
before the end of the show, thank you very much for being here, folks. Nice meeting you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, R.E.M.
You never call. I waited for your call. It's really a self-suggestion. Driving me away. The trees were bent. The city's washing away. The city on the river. That was a girl without a dream. Sorry. Lines
Don't go anywhere.
Okay, so that was really cool. I think the best thing about that was that the two guitarists worked so well together. You had the bass player continually adding these amazing riffs to the choruses that maybe you wouldn't normally expect from a bass player, in a rock song. And so it was just really interesting to hear what he was doing in each of those choruses in these songs. That clip was amazing. I've never seen it before. I love that the Letterman show is putting out these vintage clips from over 40 years ago. I think Letterman himself started in '82, so this is pretty close to the beginning for him. It's just amazing to see them go out there and do that and be these fresh-faced kids who are still in college, most likely at this point. Only have one album out. South Central Rain comes out on the second album, Reckoning, which comes out 6 months after this, so it's going to be a little while. These albums got recorded on the cheap, and they are the best albums, if you ask me, that R.E.M. ever made. Those first two, Murmur and Reckoning. Even if you're not an R.E.M. fan, I strongly suggest that you give them a listen. There's a lot to learn there about cooperation, being in a band. Listen to the way the stuff is arranged. They give each other plenty of room. They avoid guitar solos on purpose. They also avoided synthesizers. They wanted to make sure the music remained timeless. I think they succeeded in that because those two songs sounded like they could have been knocked off yesterday. So good on them for that. Michael Stipe always cracks me up, listening to him. Murmur, essentially. I mean, murmur could almost be the description of what he does when he sings. The lyrics are out there, and they make sense. They're pretty simple in general. Radio Free Europe in particular seems pretty impressionistic for a lyric sheet. So anyway, fantastic seeing them at this early stage in their career when they're really doing something very exciting there. So worth your time. If you haven't checked out the early R.E.M. stuff, it is worth your time. You may be surprised at how good it is. All right. Folks, if you have any suggestions for me, please leave them below. If you've had any experiences with R.E.M., been in shows, of course they knocked off a long time ago and it doesn't look like they're coming back, so I guess you can consider yourself lucky there. But if you ever had that experience of going to a concert or just being a big fan, having their music, having a favorite song, please leave those details below. I'd be really interested to read up on them. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed the presentation, please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you along for the ride every time. Okay. I will catch you in the near future, folks. Take care of yourselves.